Hey everybody, and hope everyone's doing good as usual. And thank you for watching, of course. Subscribe if you haven't, thumbs up if you like it, or thumbs down if you don't like it. But I encourage comments and let me know your ideas or suggestions or anything. So again, much appreciated. I just wanted to talk more about UFOs, and I was watching some really cool videos recently. I just wanted to put some ideas out there to get you thinking, I guess, or to expand your horizon or your perspective. Now, and there's a term for this. God, I wish I would have wrote it down. Sorry, but there's actually there's a scientific term for everything. But the scientist, I forget his name too. It's Eric Weinstein, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But God, it's so hard to listen to him because he's just so intelligent and I can't keep up with it. But he was talking about there's a principle or idea or whatever they call it in science that, and here's the explanation of it. So when we, for example, as humans, when we observe another species, like any sort of animal, say animals in the wild, fish, birds, whatever, lions. So any sort of species that we observe, we naturally assume that we are of the highest order, in other words. So we're the ones, after a while, of course, technology enhances or evolves our ability to to observe and analyze. So, but we're hiding. We don't want to disturb things. We allow things to unfold naturally while trying to be as non-intrusive as possible. So watching things while hidden or away or until it's necessary to engage. And all the while we're doing this, we forget that while we're the ones holding the magnifying glass, somebody else is holding it on us. And I thought, whoa, that's a crazy way to put it, because I've mentioned that in some of my videos and from some of the channeling sessions I've had and information I've got, plus stuff from online. I've got that information as well. So I believe they are here. Aliens have been here a long time, and they can cloak or they can shift to other dimensions. And there's also bases underwater and underground and under the mountains, which people have seen or talked about for decades now. But even these sorts of things are being confirmed by whistleblowers, the ability to shift to dimensions and bases that are underground. So I believe they have been watching us. What's interesting, on the Joe Rogan podcast, he mentioned that it was really around when the detonation and our testing of nuclear weapons is when UFO activity really started to increase. Which makes sense, because if you're here and you're essentially hidden or observing us or just, learning, evolving, waiting, even protecting, believe it or not, which I thought was really cool. So and there's a ton, like dozens and dozens at minimum, of species that are around and part of our observation and protection. They're helping us. We don't even realize it, but they're trying to stay out of it. Like we don't step in when a lion eats a zebra, for example, or we don't step in when a giraffe eats plants, or when they're social units, so they don't step in our affairs. But now that we've reached a certain threshold, a threshold where technology, we're realizing the capability to enter outer space, more their domain, and other dimensions too as well. Not only that, but with extremely destructive power, now is when they, kind of sit up and get up out of their chairs and start to be more active and okay, so now they've reached a level of where it will be more of an impact to us, and they're making themselves more known, and they've been in communication with governments, not just the US, over decades now, and are more free about making themselves known and flying around in the sky and that sort of thing. But they're careful about person-to-person contact or creating, mass hysteria by just landing on the White House lawn and getting out. But I think this level of exposing that they are real and presenting themselves to us carefully will happen in our lifetimes over the next few decades. I think it's super exciting. And the government has a plan too, along with the major world governments, as far as how this disclosure will be slowly rolled out, because too much would be catastrophic. So anyways, I just wanted to share that, and that whole analogy, of the magnifying glass, and I thought that was kind of cool. But not only that, but these spaceships they've been seeing flying around that defy our current models of physics and existence. We are starting to understand them from what I understand. Starting to understand how they work, but the way they move and operate and the speeds they travel at are just, we haven't figured it out yet, but are starting to. And this other interesting, it was the Weinstein guy, the scientist, I think, he put this out there too. He said, if we can figure out these rules, and these civilizations are really, really ancient, and they figured it out a long time ago, if we're just now figuring out how to get faster and faster and leave the planet and travel outwards, they can clearly visit. So I thought that kind of blew my mind too. We're just now figuring out how it is to even travel fast enough to get outside the solar system, let alone just explore the universe. And it's possible. Well, if we can, travel outwards, they can visit. If we can leave, they can come. And or they've been here all along. So I just thought it's fascinating stuff, and I wanted to put that out there to share. So cool stuff. Thanks again, and hope you're all doing well. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.